May I ask you a question? I know you're interviewing us, but may I ask you a question?
Sure, absolutely.
And I'm going to ask the same question to both myself and to David. So, who was the first person in your life, and at what age were you when you were taught something about financial management? How old were you?
I can't remember how old I was, and it wasn't taught to me overtly as a lesson, but I would say, well, when I was probably like grade 6 or 7, when I could really start
Okay.
engaging with the subject matter. But again, it wasn't taught to me overtly as like
Primary
this
school.
is a financial matter, but it was through actions, because of course, by their actions, we shall know them. But yeah, it
Exactly.
was taught to me through actions, but never overtly as a lesson, either in primary school or high school. I only learned really about it in university when I studied financial planning.
You see, and the reason why I'm asking, and I'll ask David now. David, when was the first time you?
Mine was probably when I was going to buy my first car.
Okay.
And the point was my parents didn't have money to go and buy me a car. So I was working. I mean, I started working when I was 11 years old. That's when I got my first job delivering newspapers. But my dad said to me that if you save up, so I wanted to buy myself a Beetle. And if you save up enough, he will then match half the contribution. And that started, that was really my first. And again, it wasn't overt and things, but it was that lesson in saving. So I had a goal to save towards and put towards it. And that's about investment returns. If I managed to save up half, the other half would come. So the investment returns would be there.
And what an aggressive investor there. Phila, let me tell you why I'm asking. We're all very familiar with the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And I do believe that financial literacy is starting way too late. So, my call out to every single person listening to this episode today must please be reminded that yes, it's not probably millennials that's online. Millennials have what we call alphas. That's not an Alfa Romeo car. And that's your child, that's your children, that's the next generation. So how are we going to raise the next generation? So financial management principles starts at home. So I do want to ask, at what age do you as a parent, or maybe the grandfather, the grandmother, the uncle, the aunt, whatever your role in your family setup is, we need to understand that as the adult, there's a big onus on ourselves to make sure that we raise the young ones. So whether you're a teacher, a Sunday school teacher, a teacher at school, wherever you have the opportunity to install good principles, financial management principles in the youth, I think therein lies the answer as well, because you need to understand, I mean, when I was young, I also worked, and there's a lot of the things that I had to buy myself, because this is how my parents taught me that if you want toothpaste, you buy it yourself, and I had to work for that, and I had to buy it. And if I didn't have toothpaste, well, I'll steal my brother's. So, and I did. So we just need to bear in mind that, it's not just about, I'm looking at National Treasury, what you're doing. I'm looking at the Conduct Authority. What are we doing in our own households? And there's a lot of literature out there that is specifically aimed at primary school children. And please make sure that when you do sit down with the youth, that we always mentor and teach. And if we see their behavior, like David has really hit the nail on the head with this whole social media debacle of what I think success is and what it is that I should be paying or buying. Success is being in a position to actually buy a first car, not having to go into debt. It's about having the right principles of, now that's something to brag about. So I just wanted to, that's why I asked, we need to understand that it's not, we cannot lay the blame at a very particular person or a time frame, or it starts with us. It starts with me. What am I doing to start in my household? And then you circle, and always says charity starts at home, but financial education also starts at home.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better myself. And I actually think that you yourself hit the nail on the head as well, because one of the issues that I've been concerned about is, for the fact that such things are not taught to people at home, or in schools rather as well, because it wasn't taught to me either in primary school or high school, means that the responsibility of educating young people about finances rests upon the shoulders of their parents and broader members of society who themselves didn't get any of this financial education. And so it becomes this rabbit hole that is not about to end unless something drastic is done about it. So I really do think that you hit the nail on the head when you said that.